I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request for Guillermo. And there's another film directed by a guy named Matt Johnson who did a film called The Dirties, which I just reviewed and talked about how it was a really interesting film. As well as this, like two films this guy's directed, dealing with the mockumentary, like fake documentary format, which were interesting. Different ways of doing it. And I'm going to try to not give everything away in this film. But both of them are, at least when I viewed it, they're on 2B TV. Maybe by the time maybe it's not. Just sometimes they do change. But this is Operation Avalanche. This was a much, much better version of Apollo 18. Now, what I mean by that, it's not the same story at all. It's just to do a found footage or fake documentary in that time period of the 60s or so, dealing with the space program. This was such a much more interesting way of doing it than Apollo 18, which people mainly... It's 3 astronauts, but we mainly see 2 fucking around, and then moon rocks. Oh shit, it's the moon rocks. Which makes sense, of course. A shitty film about moon rocks gets theatrical, but this is a film no one has ever heard of, and this came out 4 years ago. And no, I'm not saying it's perfect or fucking flawless. There are times where it drags a little bit from here and there. But the idea is so interesting, where our two leads, who were the two leads in The Dirties, Matt Johnson and Owen, I forget his last name, they play people who are doing little documentaries for NASA. They worked for NASA. They were doing this documentary on Stanley Kubrick. And then they find out that there's a mole in NASA. And they go, well, wait a minute. We could go undercover and help you try to find this mole. And we could pretend that we're with the education system and blah, blah, blah. We could pretend to be a documentary crew. So they do that. They get the job. They hear phone calls, tap into phone lines. And then they hear that they're not going to make it. The NASA's not going to make the moon landing in 1969, which was the promise of John F. Kennedy to do that. And they go, well, what are we going to do? And so Matt Johnson, his character gets the idea of, well, wait a minute, let's film it. And then they even go on Stanley Kubrick's set of 2001 to find out, Space Odyssey, to find out ideas how to do it. And then it shows them making a set, dealing with screen projection, painting details in, find the right sand in order to fake the moon landing. So it does deal in that conspiracy theory of what if we never landed on the moon? What if we faked it and hit the damn thing? This is maybe how it was done. Now it does get into a little bit of espionage in the finale, which wasn't too bad. I would say them filming the fake moon landing, how that was done, was more interesting. But it doesn't end on a typical everyone dies at the end thing either. So, and that's what I like about it. He doesn't have the typical endings of these found footage documentaries where everyone's dead and fucked. So it makes the endings a bit more interesting and a little bit more suspenseful as to what's going to happen with the finales of these movies. Which is why I've been asking for a long time with this stuff. Although there is a pretty good car chase, which for a low-budget film looks like it's done all in one take. In the inside of a car a la Children of Men. That was interesting. But yeah, I love the way it's shot. It really does seem like a movie that was shot in 1968. Like the old school camera footage for the entire of it. And that was really cool to see on a visual aesthetic look. That's one of the only things I liked about Apollo 18. I liked the look of it. So it's like someone took that look, put into this, but made a much more interesting story. And more interesting characters, where our lead, for Richard, is almost joyous in this attempt. Not depressed, not sad, but joyous. It's like, wow, I get to be a filmmaker and we can help NASA and maybe get promoted. It's really interesting take on the moon landing. Because how many times do you see the same? I mean, I saw First Moon with Ryan Gosling. Sadly, I was very bored with that movie where Ryan Gosling played Neil Armstrong. I was very bored with that film. I don't know, because the way it was directed. This is from a guy that likes 2001 Space Odyssey and Ad Astra with Brad Pitt. Even I thought First Man was fucking boring. But this one, it's a... Hey, we hear about this conspiracy theory? Let's make a film detailing some of that. You know, what if the moon landing was fake? How would it have been done? You know, a what if. And some people may be more truthful than the actual truth. But I like that, like how... I love the way the film looks. It made it different and unique among the pack. I thought the actors did their jobs fairly well. Like I said, it does drag a little bit from time to time, here and there. Maybe a few moments that would be tightened up a little bit more. But overall, I don't want to give a tremendous amount away in this instance. Because with the Dirties, I pretty much gave away the entire film. I don't want to do that here. I think I misspoke with the Dirties review. I said that was on Tubi TV. Sally, I don't think that is, but I know, but this one is. I don't think that one is though, Sally. But I know this one is on Tubi TV for free for those who want to watch it. But yeah, I'm curious to see what this director does next. I thought it was a really interesting take on the subject. I thought it was an interesting use of the fake documentary format. Like I said, I love the look of the film and the color scheme and the old film stock. And I thought the actors were likable enough. I thought to be interested to see what would happen next and where is this film going. It's a fun attempt of again, do something different. Make a movie of what if the moon landing was fake. Okay, here's maybe how it played out. And I thought that made for an interesting watch. I don't want to give too much away. I do. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I did. I did like it quite a bit. I thought it was a fun, especially when you got like they have a hidden camera and they're on the set of 2001: Space Odyssey and there's Stanley Kubrick and And they do that to get info about how they can make their production. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting idea, and the way it was filmed. So yeah, I liked it quite a bit. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I know it's a shorter review than usual, but yeah, I didn't want to give a whole lot away. So see you guys later. Bye-bye.